In February of 2019, fans of the World of Darkness and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines were teased about a potential new installment to the franchise. Through the Tender app, we got the first inklings of what would become Bloodlines 2. And as development progressed and more things were teased, Paradox provided us with the first estimated launch, being that of March 2020. And as many of us know, that didn't quite happen. Following a myriad of setbacks and delays, production has not been easy for Bloodlines 2. On top of the issues caused by the global pandemic and a variety of layoffs conducted by the then developer Hardsuit Labs, including the original Bloodlines writer Brian Mitsoda, creative director Kai Clooney, and the departure of writer Kara Ellison, amongst other controversies, it has left many of the fans of this series wondering whether we'll ever see this title come to fruition, or if it will have a turbulent release or other issues along the way. However, at the time of writing and recording this video, we have received new information regarding the release of Bloodlines 2. A recent interview with Fredrik Wester, the CEO of Paradox Interactive, i.e. the company that now owns the World of Darkness IP, shed some light on the state of the game, and whether we can expect any updates regarding its release and any further information on the development. But first, if you enjoy tales from grim universes, or want to learn more about the World of Darkness, perhaps leave a like or even subscribe, as it helps the channel immensely. Also, a big thank you to all those that have followed us on Twitch, where we'll be hosting a couple of special streams very soon. When asked how he felt about the change in developer from Hardsuit Labs to the new Bloodlines developer, Fredrik Wester states, "It feels really good with Bloodlines 2, and we'll likely be able to set a launch date for the game relatively soon. We feel that the game has been in very good hands, and we're incredibly satisfied with what we've seen. Whilst this is great news, the tumultuous experience Paradox Interactive and the developers have had with this game leaves us with a lot of questions. We still don't really know who this new developer is, or what their plans are for this title. It is assumed they have picked up from where Hardsuit Labs left off, but none can really be too sure. All we know is that the title is in good hands." From the same interview, Wester hinted at some caution in relation to any details regarding Bloodlines 2's official release, simply putting, "If you look at the pipeline, we've been a little cautious about announcing things because we got burned a little on Bloodlines 2. We've said we're not going to release anything until we're pretty sure of an absolute launch date, or at least a launch month." Paradox knows that this game has garnered a bit of notoriety for its development delays, something which consistently comes up in unofficial discussions whenever Vampire the Masquerade is mentioned. Bloodlines 2 is perhaps the biggest property associated with the World of Darkness, and it follows on from the cult appeal of its predecessor. However, it is always good to veer on the side of caution, even when debating releasing such information regarding release dates and expected launches, especially when your project has been rather rocky for the past few years. Now, Wester did state a 2023 launch isn't out of the realm of possibility, but I would like to give my 2 cents on the matter. With developer changes and unexplained firings of key creative workers, I feel as if we're in limbo when it comes to information regarding Bloodlines 2. I don't doubt that many want to play this game and play it immediately, myself included, but we are not even too certain how much has changed during its development, and what we can truly expect out of the title. Now, I like to be optimistic. I want to believe that Paradox fully has this game under their control, and are working towards refining a game which will expand not only the setting of Bloodlines, but the entire World of Darkness. Yet if we've learned anything from games such as 2077, or even the original Bloodlines 1, a game surrounded by hype, high expectations, or the need to rush its development can often lead to disappointment, and that isn't what Bloodlines 2 deserves. I may be coming off as pessimistic, but I truly want this title to thrive and bring in a new crowd of people to the World of Darkness. Kane knows that this setting has so much to offer, but it has to be done with care. News like this is extremely exciting, of course, but we must take into account that, as we've said before, we know very little about what this game wants to present and how it wants to present it. If we can assume that the new developer is simply picking up the pieces from Hardsuit Labs Labs, we can expect to be making our way to Seattle as a thin blood on our bloody route to become a fully fledged vampire. But who can say that is still the original trajectory? With Wester's commentary in mind, it would seem feasible that this game is simply continuing its production as usual, simply with a new developer at the helm, and we can fully expect what we were teased in 2019. But with the sudden change in lead writers and assumedly creative vision, one can only hope that we are not met with a title which is confused in its approach, perhaps due to the coming and going of different visionaries, all wishing to tell their stories. Now, game development is a collaborative process, and it's perhaps naive of me to expect that people such as Mitsoda, Ellison and Clooney leaving can have an overall disastrous effect on how the story is conveyed. But it does scream to me that there have been creative differences within this project, especially as we've been given little to no information on the goings-on with development. Mitsoda himself stated that the fundamentals of the narrative were all concocted by himself whilst in his living room, and such a prevalent face to not only Bloodlines 2, but the whole Bloodlines franchise leaving was, to say the least, a little bit of a worrying sign for the future of this project. So what should we expect from here? I don't think it's worth being inherently negative about what we can expect from Bloodlines 2, which is a bit ironic from what I've said before. Truly, we don't know a lot about this game, and we can only expect that what we've already seen will be incorporated into the final game. There are many talented people that work on behalf of Paradox for the World of Darkness, and there is a lot of love for this franchise, and a great passion to see it succeed. And I wouldn't expect that anyone working on Bloodlines 2 wants to see it sink, given the amount of expectations this game has. Should we be excited for recent news that we could be getting a major update soon? Of course we should. We shouldn't deprive ourselves for being excited for a project we've been following for a long time. However, I don't think it's particularly useful to give in to the hype and demand that this game comes out as quickly as possible. There have been many games over recent years that have rushed their development in order to satiate shareholders' demands and community pressure, but Bloodlines 2 deserves to release in the best form it can possibly be in. The original Bloodlines is my favourite game, and I have a lot of fond memories playing it, but it had a very unfortunate release, and the game itself does not feel like it reached its full potential, and those that have run Melee builds will understand what I mean by that. For us fans who love this franchise and love the setting of the World of Darkness, I think our best course of action is to wait for more information regarding this title. It has not had an easy time of development, and asking for the process to be rushed will only be met with an unfinished product, and that is not something any of us want. The new developers of this title deserve the time and space necessary to deliver on what was promised all those years ago, and I want to see this game come out to good reviews and interest instead of disappointment. And I'm happy to wait a bit longer if that is what is needed to be ensured. I don't doubt that those working on Bloodlines 2 have a hard task in front of them, confronting their rocky development and delays, and pushing forwards to delivering us an amazing game in a world that many of us have come to love immensely. And I sincerely hope that perhaps in a year or two's time, we will be sitting down in front of our TVs and PC monitors and sucking digital blood as Cain had intended. But the last thing I want is this sequel to befall the same fate as its contemporaries, or even its predecessor, as even though many of us have high expectations, a lot of us just want a good game that we can escape into. I have high hopes for Bloodlines 2, and if I had this information a couple of years ago, I would be frothing at the mouth and shouting from the hilltops for this game to release now. But I want this experience to be finished in a manner that everyone can be proud of. Despite its turbulent journey, I sincerely hope that Paradox and the new developers behind Bloodlines 2 can stick the landing, and I have faith that the talented people who are working on this project are sincerely hoping for the same. If they need time, we've already waited this long. If it takes a little bit longer, so be it. Thank you for watching. Bloodlines 2 is perhaps the most talked about thing when it comes to the World of Darkness, and I'm sure this news is music to many people's ears. It's good to know that this project isn't completely dead in the water, and we can expect things to come in the future, of which I will attempt to inform you of when I hear about it. So if you enjoyed this video, it would mean the world to me if you left a like and let me know in the comments what your thoughts are regarding Bloodlines 2, and what you want to see from this game. Also, if you want to support the channel further, feel free to subscribe, and perhaps even follow me on Twitch, where I'll be hosting a few special streams. And so, until next time, stay safe and do not wander naively into the night.